What's going on, folks? It's Mr. phdjeshua and FGC Chris. We're bringing you a review of Gundam Requiem for Vengeance. This aired on Netflix on October 17th. We're going to try to give you our most non-biased opinion on this film, or 6-episode miniseries, excuse me. Mr. Chris, start us off.
Like I say, if I would say I did love the mobile suit designs, the the Zaku tank, the Gundam, the GM, the Goofs. Everything looks pretty good, and they're using the Unreal Engine 5, and it shows a bit because the mobile suits look beautiful. Like if they did another one, I would definitely want them to use the Unreal Engine 5 because it just really makes everything about the machines in the world itself pop. Uh, the characters. I don't know if you wanted me to go into the characters yet.
Man, well, we can start off with the characters. It's no issue.
Uh, I'm trying to. Oh, what was the girl? What is the girl's name?
Which
Cause she has
one?
the main lead character.
I think it's Ira.
S- Uh, what is her? Ira. And I had it. It was on the tip of my tongue, but that's neither here nor there. Like, with her, I just couldn't really connect to her as a character. Like maybe if we had a little more time and they could have fleshed her out a little bit more, it would have definitely helped me a little bit more because they introduce you to her and her team really doesn't even last a few minutes. They're trying to make you feel some connection to the character, but you really don't spend enough time with any of them really to get a strong connection, especially to her as the main character.
I think two
And I think that's
characters.
probably the biggest. But I said I think that's probably the biggest weakness of the movie, the series itself.
Yeah, being 6 episodes, it really hurts some of the development of some of the characters because some of them are just seem one-offish.
Yeah, especially when it comes to like the one of the gorilla fighters, the chick with the pink hair and the tattoos. Like she's so one dimensional when it comes to her character. It's hard to really build a connection to any of them because a lot of times they're really just talking a lot of Xeon propaganda pretty much the whole time. Like the lead character, that's about the only good thing I could really say about her. She's not really buying into the whole Xeon Daikun, Earth. We need to just take the Earth back from the Earth noise and stuff. Like she doesn't really spout the talking points, but it's like you really don't get a sense of her personality and who she is, and I don't know, it just kind of draws me out of the whole series itself at times.
That's a bit understandable. Considering the circumstances, this is the West's second attempt, or actually second making of a Gundam series. Because the first go around was G Savior, which was back in 1999. But that was made in Canada, so we just write that one off.
And I'm not trying to get everybody confused. I'm not saying it's as bad as G Savior.
But Mr. Chris, not too long ago, you were singing the praises of G Savior.
Oh no, I can take G Savior for what it was and what they attempted to do with it, even though the execution fell short. But I can respect what they tried to do with it.
It was a interesting attempt. It's all I can
Yeah.
say. That's being nice.
And I believe if I remember correct, because I was watching a couple of reviews and stuff, kind of trying to get the timeline straight. This takes place literally like right as Operation Odessa is taking place. So that's where it kind of fits in the Gundam UC timeline.
Yeah,
It's around
because
that point in time.
they have what's his name pop up. What is his name?
Was it
Some.
Yuri Thunton?
Let me see if I can see his name real fast. Because he's one of the main
The
generals.
Yeah,
S-
but you will recognize it if you watch the Eighth MS team. You'll recognize who he is.
Yeah, they really do pull from that inspiration wise on some of the stuff because I mean the goofs they pull the goof customs. We see about like a four of them, two in
We
one
see,
episode, and then two in another.
I think, yeah, I think it's here about five. No, it's four because the Gundam destroys three of them.
I remember it destroying two.
Now, remember when once they encounter the Gundam for the first time, and it pretty much obliterates their whole unit. And it like that's what I do like the fact that the Gundam is terrifying when you see it in action.
Brothers, freaking Gundam's Jason the whole time. Or no, Michael Myers. We'll go Michael Myers. Just appearing randomly at times. But that unit, the Gundam RX-78 EX or Gundam EX is ridiculously fast because it is considering it's the new experimental unit of the Federation in this timeline, and it's just whew.
Which is kind of weird because it's supposed to be within the UC timeline, but they act as if they've never seen a Gundam before or a GM. And I'm like, at that point in time, the GM and the RX-78 had already been pretty much deployed. The white base and all that stuff was around, so the Gundam's already known, and it's pretty much a legend. So the fact that the reason they say they don't even know that the Federation even has mobile suits is kind of weird.
it it plays on it's like it definitely is like an alternate timeline of the Eighth MS team is what it feels like it's playing on because like I said they do pull I would say inspirations from the Eighth MS team, which is like one of the easiest OVAs to like ease someone into the Gundam series because like the Easy Eight I think it's what's his name pilots in the Eighth
Yeah,
MS team, and that's where they just
which is
pull that's where some of the inspiration for the Gundam EX is pulled from. Some inspiration.
I'm trying to remember it because it actually what are the model kits that have like the Kai versions? Because
Oh,
the guy who does like the Kai version, the redesigns of all those Gundam, he was the one who designed the Easy 8 in his iconic look. Cause that was like the first time we ever seen a Gundam that didn't have like the horns and stuff. It kind of just
I don't know. I can't quite tell you. That is there are some other mobile suits, not to stray too far, that are like within the Gundam Unicorn that are actually Gundams, but they just never had the V module put on them. It's just I guess they just didn't want to put that on there because I mean, what's her name's her in
no,
the
cause that was the design he said he wanted to go for. He wanted to create something more a Gundam more unique.
hmm. I'll take your word for it. I haven't seen that.
And it is an iconic gun because that's probably one of my favorite Gundams, even out of all the series, is the Easy 8, just because of how it looks and its build and the whole overall design of it.
It's definitely a easy design to look up and see.
Now the now my my gripe with the character designs though is really I guess it's more so the Unreal Engine itself is that it kind of looks it looks too much like a video game cutscene. And I know some people saying where the characters look really almost lifelike, and I'm like, I don't know what you're looking at.
I mean, they have great. I'll give them credit for where credit is due. They're not lifelike, but they have like you can see the pores on their skin and everything. They're very highly detailed, especially for like anime characters, even in 3D.
Yeah, no, the thing is that they don't really move naturally at times. I mean, I guess that might be just a limitation of the Unreal Engine, but they just don't really move like smoothly at times. There's a lot of times where there's a lot of herky jerky movement, and it kind of breaks the immersion for you.
Well, it was developed by Safe House, and I'm not too familiar with Studio Safe House, so I'm not too sure on their experience with like the Unreal Engine. I don't see too many like movies that use the Unreal Engine. I know there's a lot of games that use it because it's super easy, but but when it comes to like making games in the Unreal Engine, especially 5, there's some minor issues with it, like some transferring and all that, but that's with game design. Some of some of these characters, and the soldier you were talking about, her name's Haley. That's from that. She's from the First Armored Infantry. She's the second lieutenant in that infantry. Is she if because there's part of one of the episodes where they have to go undercover and go steal a GM. Sorry, there's going to be some spoilers here, and it's just she's wearing her nose ring, and I'm just like, no Federation officer looks like her. She looks like a rebel punk kid from Hot Topic, and it's just I, seeing her in that uniform. It just does not work because like from her neck, where there's part of some of the Xeon tattoos you can still see. Someone wouldn't really know, but it's like you're not going to convince me she is going to infiltrate this base and someone's going to believe her. Now, mind you, some of them kind of get away. Some of the others can pull it off to a point because they're not having like they're wearing hats or whatever. Miss Ira, she has like half her head shaved with the hair flopping over to one side. I am so sick of seeing that hairstyle. God, I hate it.
Yeah. That's another thing about that scene. I'm wondering why they didn't take the other mobile suit pilot with them
They
to
needed
steal the
someone.
GMs.
They just needed someone to stay back and pilot Zaku because there's not many of those other people at that recycling plant could pilot a Zaku.
Yeah, but I'm like, well, you took somebody in there who really doesn't know how to pilot a mobile suit to hijack a GM.
Well, he's a mechanic, so he has an idea.
And I was like, well, what was y'all plan? Y'all were just gonna break in. Y'all were just gonna sneak into this bake and just walk out with these two GMs.
That was the plan.
Like, yeah,
It's
did you
a
not think that the Gundam was anywhere nearby?
smash and grab.
Yeah, that could have worked if they would have actually just got in there, and just as soon as they got in there, he stands up, picks up the other guy, and just jets out of there. But he's stumbling and bumbling all around because he doesn't really know how to really handle the GM. I guess because the architecture for the mobile suit is different from a GM from the Zaku's.
I would assume they're sort of similar. It's just you don't really pilot anything. So I mean, you're trying to get it out of there as quick as possible. There's definitely going to be some issues.
And I was just like, oh man, they need to get out of here. As soon as I said they needed to get out of here, that's when Jason showed up. The door opens, the hangar door opens, and the Gundam is right there. I'm like, oh.
What the worst part was of that one episode is where that one soldier he's like panicking before the guy gets into the GM and starts shooting. That's like, oh my god! It's like you just gave away your whole position. What the hell? Then again, he told a lie or whatever to tell that one petty officer to get out of the driver's seats. It's like, dude, you could have cranked this thing up and start driving it out. You could have drove the truck off.
I think he was looking for the keys and he couldn't find them. I think
Yeah,
that was the idea that he was going to try to drive off with it.
yeah. I think that guy though had the keys or whatever with him. But back on the character designs, most of them are okay. It, and before you even start, on the whole diversity shenanigans. This is in the future, so that's both sides are going to have different people from multiple backgrounds piloting, because you got to remember this is Earth versus space colonies. So zip it on that part.
And I just didn't particularly like. It's like they're trying to make you sympathize with the Zeons, but it's
There,
like it's kind of hard to sympathize with people who gassed an entire colony, then dropped it on the planet and killed billions of people. It's kind of hard to sympathize with
was that Operation Odessa?
what the colony dropped.
Yeah, what was that? God, I can't remember that operation.
That operation links back into 0083 because what's her name? The Xeon chick that fights at the end. It's hard to remember all these characters' names, but she was the soldier that was sent in to gas that colony,
But
but
she
was told that
didn't.
it was just sleeping gas. No, she gassed it because she thought it was sleep. They told her it was sleeping gas, and she didn't realize it till it was too late that it was actually poison gas.
Her name's
That's why. That's why.
Anna.
Yeah, that's
Her
why
name's Anna.
that's why she's so messed up in 0083.
Oh, you mean are we talking about the Eighth MS team or Stardust Memory?
Stardust Memory.
I went to the wrong thing. Give me a second. Dear Lord, I hate when I go to the wrong thing.
She's like almost like a Xeon pirate. Oh, what was her name?
Give me a second. I'll have it pulled up. That's Gato. Because she betrays Xeon
Mm-hmm.
and switches to the
Federation.
yeah, but then freaking Ko takes her out. What's her name? I'm trying to find her name real fast. Give me.
But
Anyway, go ahead.
uh, and it's just I guess I really want to see more mobile suit design, more so than just the ones we got. Cause we only really got 5 designs, and they kept reusing the Goof customs over and over and over again.
Oh, they only use them twice. Then you had the Zaku tanks, the Zaku. I saw one Zaku 1, but there was more Zaku 2s than anything.
Yeah. And I still have a problem with them using the Goof custom like that because it was, like I said, it was not a grunt machine. That was an ace pilot or a commander's unit machine.
Well, anything that has like the fins will usually have. Yeah, well, that was definitely one of the more higher end.
Yeah, because it was kind of like there's the Goofs was supposed to be something that was not as strong as a Gundam, but it could go toe to toe with one if you had a ace pilot in it and somebody who knew what they was doing.
It's so weird.
Are you still trying to find her name?
Yes, because I know she's on the.
Mm.
It's so weird where they put her. Damn it! Going the other way. It's gonna drive me nuts. Anyways, we'll get to that in a moment.
Mm.
It's SEMA. It's SEMA. Why? I swear.
Hold on, I'll be right back.
All right.
Just carry on without me for a few seconds.
All right. So, but I will give credit where credit is due for a lot of the mobile suit designs. They are wonderful, especially the Gundam EX Gatling gun, 3 sabers, deployment unit on the back. The shield's really cool. And if you decide to get the model kits for this series in particular, the high grades are really detailed, especially for high grade units. I know the Gundam EX is out, and along with Miss Ira's Zaku 2.
Yeah,
Definitely might be
I'm
worth looking into getting into. But yeah,
I'm
that
hoping we get I'm hoping we get a master grade of those.
that's a big maybe. I mean, this was the most popular. I think it was number 2 in Japan on Netflix. I think it was number 7 in America for like a
Yeah,
week.
but yeah, and I think it did it after a week. It fell off.
I mean, that happens. So many new things always coming in. And
That's
that
true.
chick's name from Stardust Memory was Seema. I don't know
Yeah,
why I couldn't remember her name. I need to see her picture, I guess.
it's just kind of weird because they're trying to fit it. They fit it into the UC timeline, but it's like a tight fit.
Like I said, it's the only thing I can really give it is like it's an alternate timeline of like the 8th MS team. Because this is also taking place in the retreat of Xeon going back to space.
Yeah, but I think it does take place because it's taking place. Where was the what part of the country it was taking place in? I think it was in like Eastern
Europe.
Europe.
It was
Yeah,
Europe.
Eastern Europe, and at that particular point in time, if the wiki was correct, there was no conflicts. There was no conflicts really happening that they've already used in the timeline already. So it's free reign over there. For them to put it there, it's kind of say, hey, this battle was going on over here while all this other stuff was going on.
Because what's her name? Miss Ira stays on Earth to fight in Africa, if I remember correctly.
Yep. She goes down to Africa to fight with Xeon remnants to stop the Federation from using child soldiers.
Yeah, that's a big thing. It's so weird that the weird like war messaging Gundam always has. But then again, it's just to sell model kits too. So I mean, kind of take it for what it is. But I
It's just kind of weird though because like they try to make the Xeon so make her feel like she's morally superior at times, but it's like you really don't have a leg to stand on when it comes to certain things, especially when you call I'm gonna fight the Federation to stop them from using child soldier. I'm like, well, Xeon uses child soldiers too.
yeah. I
You
mean,
can't you kind of being a hypocrite there.
we can we can go back to Gundam Thunderbolt for a second here. In the first movie, where I mean, you got people giving up their arms and legs just to integrate with the mobile suits to have better reaction times and everything. It's like that is insane. These people are becoming amputees just to just become better pilots. I mean, we can go into Gundam Iron Blood Orphans that kind of does something similar, but we won't.
Yeah.
I mean, overall, I would recommend this as something for someone to get into, along with like the 8th MS team. If they something want just what's something newer to get into, this isn't a bad
Uh,
option.
I would say that too. It's not a bad option if you want like something newer.
I mean, it's a 6 out of 10 at best to me, and I feel like I'm being very generous with that.
I would say it's a five. To me, it's just average. It's not. It wouldn't hurt you to look at it, and if you looked at it, fine. If you didn't look at it, fine.
It's on a list of recommendations, we'll say, but I mean, it's there for you to watch. We don't want to say too much and spoil a lot of things, but just know like we don't want to tell you it's like here's the universal timeline, which is the main timeline, which is there's like 50 different things going along that line. Then there's like so many dividing other like universes or whatever. It's like, hey, you want something
Pocket
that's
universes.
oh my god, pocket universes. that just if you just want something, there's so many we could recommend, but we may do that in another video or podcast episode. But this
If you just
is
want something that's very short and condensed,
uh,
this would be a pretty good pickup.
this or the 8th MS team, because the 8th MS team definitely is more of the Federation side of this. This hits on the Xeon side more, which they don't always hit on as much. Because
But no, they do it from time to time.
the only thing I can think of was the Xeonic Front video game, the PlayStation 2 one. It's the only thing I can think of off the top of my head. That's really old, so
I would say Unicorn as well, because it seemed kind of from both perspectives at one time. It really more so from the Xeonic side, the sleeve side of the whole conflict, because certain things happened that basically forced them into an alliance with Xeon Remnant.
true. But that's all we have to really say about Gundam Requiem for Vengeance. Any final thoughts, Mr. Chris, before we close this out?
I liked it better than Witch from Mercury season 2.
Yeah, that is, I feel, not hard to beat. But that's that the Witch from Mercury is a story for another time. But folks, give it a watch if you can. Y'all have a wonderful evening.
I said we might have to bring Mundo in for that one.
Oh, indeed.